General Hospital will reveal Willow's deepening love for Drew, whom she believes to be her life-saving hero and someone who always puts her interests first. Her feelings for Drew are not just admiration but blind worship, partly stemming from past traumas. Willow, who has experienced the control of occult and unstable relationships, has developed a tendency to form intense attachments to men she feels safe with. Drew, with his trustworthy appearance and skillful manipulation, easily takes advantage of this, turning her into a pawn in his calculated plans. Willow becomes increasingly absorbed in her relationship with Drew, completely blind to the complex truths unfolding around her. With deep admiration for Drew for saving her life, Willow easily follows everything he says without question. She is even willing to change her behavior toward Michael, her loving husband, simply because of Drew's influence. This not only hurts Michael but also angers those around them, especially as they begin to see Drew's true nature. However, what Willow doesn't know is that Drew is hiding a big secret. He once had an intimate relationship with Nina, her biological mother. Nina, fearful of the consequences if the truth comes out, has tried to keep everything hidden. But this secrecy has turned her into an easy target for Drew's manipulation. He exploits Nina's insecurities and fears to make a ruthless demand. He forces her to sleep with him one last time, in exchange for him leaving Willow's life. Drew uses every argument to corner Nina, forcing her to accept, knowing it will cause her deep harm. Burdened by fear and guilt, Nina has no choice but to reluctantly comply with Drew's demands to protect the secret. However, Drew's plan does not go as smoothly as he hoped. One day, Willow stumbles upon a horrifying scene between Drew and Nina. What she sees not only devastates her but also triggers intense anger. The fact that the man she loves and trusts wholeheartedly has an illicit relationship with her own mother is an unthinkable shock. Unable to control her emotions, Willow, in a fit of rage, attacks Drew, stabbing him as a form of revenge for the harm he caused. Willow's action immediately sparks waves of criticism and outrage. Drew, once seen as her hero, now reveals his selfish, arrogant, and ruthless nature. The truth about his relationship with Nina spreads, leaving not only Willow but also everyone around her feeling betrayed. Michael, who has endured Willow's unfair treatment while under Drew's influence, now feels that the pain is unforgivable. He realizes that his feelings have been dismissed while Willow blindly followed a liar. Nina also cannot escape the consequences. The secret relationship with Drew not only tarnishes her image in Michael's eyes but also makes Willow feel betrayed by her own mother. She is furious to realize that Nina did not protect her from Drew but instead participated in the schemes to manipulate her. This event is a huge shock, not only for Willow but for everyone involved. After her outburst, Willow begins to feel regret and self-blame for not recognizing Drew's true nature sooner. She realizes that her blind love has not only destroyed herself but also caused deep harm to Michael, the only one who truly loved and cared for her. But is stabbing Drew a form of liberation, or does it only trap her in an inescapable spiral of guilt? Willow must face severe mental collapse along with the irreversible consequences of her actions. Willow continues to fall deeper into her relationship with Drew, whom she sees as her savior and emotional support after the crises in her life. This blind trust has prevented her from seeing the abnormalities in their relationship. Drew, with his cunning and manipulative abilities, not only exploits Willow's emotions but also uses his influence to change the way she treats Michael, the husband who always loves and supports her. Willow, believing that Drew always prioritizes her best interests, begins to follow his words without realizing the injustice she is causing to Michael. Michael, who has endured Willow's coldness and unfairness, feels increasingly hurt but continues to try to keep his love for her intact. In uncontrollable anger, Willow rushes at Drew and stabs him as a form of revenge for the deep wounds he caused. This act is the culmination of the pain and anger she has bottled up for so long, as the truth is revealed all at once. The event not only exposes Drew's selfish and calculating nature but also plunges Willow into a mental crisis. She must not only face the consequences of her impulsive action but also confront the feeling of being betrayed by both her mother and the man she loved. Michael, who has silently endured the harm caused by Willow's unfairness, now feels even greater pain watching her collapse. But can he forgive her and help her through this difficult time, or have the wounds they both bear become too great to heal? Meanwhile, Nina, who tried to protect the family, must now face judgment from both Willow and Michael, along with the guilt of letting everything spiral out of control. Willow's impulsive act creates a series of unforeseen consequences, dragging everyone into a vortex of pain, anger, and regret. Can Willow find a way out and make amends for her mistakes, or will this be the end of the most important relationships in her life? The consequences of these events go beyond the breakdown of relationships, leaving scars that cannot be erased on the souls of all those involved. Willow, once known as a strong and independent woman, now finds herself completely broken both physically and emotionally. She is haunted by the shame of realizing she allowed herself to be manipulated by Drew, losing the true love of her life and the self-respect she always tried to maintain. Willow is not only in pain from being betrayed but also tortured by the realization that her wrong decisions caused Michael, who loved her unconditionally, to suffer deeply. In the days following the revelation of the truth, Willow can hardly face reality. Every time she looks at Michael, her heart breaks again, as his disappointed and pained gaze is a constant reminder of everything she has lost. The overwhelming sense of guilt causes Willow to withdraw from life, trapping herself in her own pain, feeling unworthy of forgiveness or a chance to make things right. Michael, despite being deeply hurt by the unfairness and wrong decisions of Willow, cannot completely let go of her. He still hopes that one day, Willow will come to her senses and find herself again. But his love for her is no longer filled with the same trust it once was. Michael is torn between the desire to forgive and the fear that Willow might hurt him again. He understands that overcoming this phase does not only depend on him but also requires Willow to truly face her mistakes and work to change. Meanwhile, Nina cannot escape the consequences either. Her involvement in the secret relationship with Drew not only tarnishes her image in Willow's eyes but also fuels Michael's anger even more. Nina, who once hoped to rebuild her relationship with her daughter, has now become a part of Willow's pain. She feels guilty and powerless, realizing that her wrong decisions have pushed her daughter down a painful path. This story is not only about the breakdown of relationships but also about the costly lessons of trust, honesty, and the consequences of poor choices. Willow must learn how to face her pain, not only to make amends for her mistakes but also to find herself again. Michael, though still loving Willow, must also find answers for himself. Can love overcome the pain of betrayal? And Nina, with a fragile hope, must struggle to seek forgiveness from both Willow and Michael. What happens next is not only the emotional journey of the characters but also intense internal conflicts. Willow must face the task of starting over, learning how to overcome emotional collapse and confront the people she has hurt. Michael must decide whether he can open his heart again to heal the wounds between them. As for Nina, with her past mistakes, she must accept that sometimes, love alone is not enough to make up for the losses that have occurred. The story is not only about the breakdown of relationships but also a valuable lesson about trust, honesty, and the consequences of poor choices. Willow must learn how to face the pain, not only to atone for her mistakes but also to find herself again. Michael, though he loves Willow, also needs to find answers for himself. Can love overcome the pain of betrayal? As for Nina, with her fragile hope, she must struggle to seek forgiveness from both Willow and Michael. What happens next is not just the emotional journey of the characters, but also their intense internal conflicts. Willow must face the reality of starting over, learning how to overcome her emotional collapse, and confronting the people she has hurt. Michael must decide whether he can open his heart once again to heal the wounds between them. Nina, with her past mistakes, must accept that sometimes, love alone is not enough to make up for the losses that have occurred. Their story is a long series of torment, regret, and efforts to find the light after the storms. But can the broken relationships be mended? Or will the scars from betrayal forever change their lives, leaving bitter lessons that no one can forget? These questions will forever remain a significant uncertainty, forever altering the lives and souls of those involved.